0, 1. Let's get started.
Today I want to talk about something everybody's talking about, but nobody's talking about. You know what I mean? Hairlines. Let's talk about it. I'm Josie Renwah, and I'm aging into beauty. I wear wigs, and today I want to help you wear yours. Thanks for joining me. This beautiful piece that is going to help us talk about hairlines today is Stella Star by Renau in the color Martini. It is a gorgeous wig, and I chose it for this demonstration for two reasons. One, I like to lift it up off my forehead, and two, it has an impeccable hairline. Something very exciting about putting on a wig and having it look so realistic that it looks like it's growing right out of your head, that just thrills me to no end. So let's take a real quick peek at her hairline. I'm gonna use my ear tabs to lift it up so I don't damage the lace. Can you see? I hope the camera picks it up, right? Here's our lace and how it just disappears. Just disappears. And all you see is that beautiful hairline popping through. So nice, so nice. The topic today really is all about the hairline. Wigs today, whether they have a lace front or not, modern wigs, especially in the last few years, have become so good. What you can purchase now is the kind of stuff that was custom done for theater in the past. You can get your hands on a wig that you can literally take off and slip on in a second, and you have something that's styled, already beautiful, and looks exactly as if it has come right. It's coming right out of your skin. That is amazing. That's just spectacular. We're so fortunate, and to have these amazing products, but it's brought us to the point that we are starting to obsess really about the finite details of the illusion that we're projecting. And one of the things that we forget is that people don't really notice us that much. They don't really focus on the fact that we're wearing fake hair. We feel like everybody knows in the beginning. We are afraid to walk out those first, days of getting your first wig. You're very self-conscious, but the truth is you find out very quickly people don't even notice. They just don't notice the details. But we notice, right? We notice the details. And so when you have this amazing detail of a lace front, you really want to know, where should it be growing out of my head? So you've already heard the old adage, the forehead is called the forehead because it should be 4 fingers from your eyebrow to your hairline. Well, okay, that's a good concept. Do I start here on top of the eyebrow? Do I go above my eyebrow? Below my eyebrow? Do I go up here at the arch? It's got its issues, right? It's roughly 4 fingers, okay? But we're not all built to scale. And so we're not all, our fingers and our forehead don't all match. And there's also the theory that your face is broken up basically into thirds, here, here, and here. And you want to kind of maintain that. My proportions are not equal thirds. And there are a lot of people who have very low foreheads and very short chins. And it really is about proportion when it comes to where the best ideal hairline is. But within that, there is so much room for play, manipulation, and control over the illusion. And I just want to share some of that with you today. So for starters, if we take, and I am going to go back down to my ear tabs to lift her up away from my skin, and I'm going to pull her down. Now, a lot of people might think this looks very natural. It just depends on what they're used to, what their hairline is like. And while it does look natural that it's growing out of my head, that looks very realistic, doesn't look proportional on me at all. And so I'm going to take it and I'm going to lift it up a little bit more. Looks a little better. I can feel, because I know where to put it, that this is not good. So I'm going to lift it a little bit more. And now I'm in my zone. I'm in my zone. Now it's a zone because there is no perfect spot for me. It's an area about, I want to say the width of my pinky, that maybe even my ring finger, that I feel comfortable adjusting my wig in. And the reason that there's adjustment, and I'm going to show with another wig here in a second, a couple wigs. The reason that there's an adjustment is because different wigs look different on you, and you might want to force a different illusion. So here's a couple of illusions. One is when you are younger, your hairline's lower. So if you want a more youthful appearance, right? You want a lower hairline. If you want to widen your face, if you have a very long, narrow face or a very gaunt face, you want to poof things out and you want to widen your appearance, bring your hairline down a smidge, and that will help widen your face. If you already have a round face and you want the illusion of a long, lean face, lift it up a bit. It was a fraction of a change, but it makes a big difference. A big difference in the illusion. Also, you want illusion of a longer face, get more lift. Get it leaner down the sides. More lift at the top. And now there's the illusion of a longer face. The hairline is a minimal shift, but it is powerful in shifting the illusion. So I really wanted to share this with you today. Also, something that's important to keep in mind is that as we age, our hairline recedes. So if you start off with a lower hairline, so you're wanting to keep that illusion of youthfulness, a little bit of my fire hair showing, but because I'm not keeping it in place. You want to keep that appearance of youthfulness. You've brought it down. And then, so, you know, this is pretty low. This is probably as low as mine has ever been when I was a child, maybe. Your hairline often starts very low. As we age, it gets a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. And of course, it depends on everyone's age, but by the time you're in your 80s or so, a woman's hairline is often receded quite a bit. So if you really want to pull youthfulness back into you, instead of honoring where your hairline is when you put your wig on, put your wig where it used to be, where the hairline used to be. And now you've created a whole new look, a whole new illusion, shall we say, of a more youthful appearance. I hope you can see that. It's so, so subtle. I want you to notice how subtle it is. So this is what I would call a more youthful appearance, a lower look on me. And this is a much more mature. It really was the width of a finger that I'm moving this wig. That's making all kinds of difference here. Now, another thing that's really important, and I shared this briefly in the video about how to prevent your wig from riding up to fix that situation, and that is that a lot of times people are putting their wigs down onto their face muscles, these muscles that lift our whole forehead. And when you do that, right now, it's driving me insane. It pokes and stabs the skin every time I lift my eyebrows. So pulling your wig up to the place where you can lift your muscles all day long and it doesn't affect your wig, I'm feeling absolutely no pressure. In fact, let me see here if I can show this. Trying to look out of the side of my eye. Right about here, my skull kind of comes up, and right here, it starts to go back. It starts to dip back. I hope you can see that right there. Below this is my face. That's where my face is. All these muscles controlling all those lines on my face. But do you notice I don't have any wrinkles up here? There's nothing up here in wrinkle land because the muscles don't affect this area. So when I'm placing my lace front, I want it above all the muscle zone. So give you some wrinkles. See where those are? Now, I can put her way up there. Initially she went way high. But I'm going to pull her down just a smidge because I can. Where those muscles are, I'm just going to go above them. That's the most useful look that I'm going to get without having irritation from my lace front. It's fairly proportionate to my forehead, my nose chin proportions. They're fairly proportionate there. Am I at 4 fingers? If I put my pinky right on top of my eyebrow, we all have different thicknesses of eyebrows. So this was like when I first started, like where do I put it? I'm just going to cover my eyebrow and line my fingers up. And you can see I'm a little beyond that zone. I'm actually at the bottom of the lace, which could be trimmed a bit, but no need because I don't really see it that much. And let's see, what else can we say here? I think that shows, I think Stella Star has given us a lot of feedback. So I want to share with you, first off, inside of Stella Star. Let's take a peek at her first. She has this half moon sort of protruding, got a little bit of a receding, hairline, which is this normal receding temple, very natural to her. Just wanted to share that. Now I want to go into a basic cap. It's a completely different look. So this has no lace. This has this is an old cheap wig that has an amazing amount of permatease. And the edge of the cap, the hair there's a whole line of hair making it look like it comes out from under the cap. And so it's thick. It's that thick. So when you put this on, first off, basic caps almost always come with bangs so that you can hide the fact that you have a cap on, right? I've already chopped this wig up quite a bit. She was cheap. She was one of my early wigs, and I have played with her a lot. And I highly recommend you go get yourself an inexpensive wig to do all the things to. Cut it, put some heat on it, you know, all the things. So let's look at what happens at this hairline. So I told you there's a weft under there. So I don't know if you can tell. I can feel it. I don't know if you can see it. I'm lifting this whole thing right here is lifting up that actually goes down and it sits on the skin. So that is how it's supposed to sit. Now it's sitting, the band under there is sitting in the right spot. I'm not getting movement, but look how low it looks. Look how low my forehead looks. Even with the illusion of bangs, it just looks like it's seated too low. So let's move it, right? We have the power to do what we want. So I'm gonna move it up quite a lot. And then as I move my bangs around and I have this very subtle peekaboo bang that looks like you can see to my hairline, it looks like my hairline is now, my forehead is now proportional to the rest of my face. So even with a basic cap, the placement of the edge of the cap, which is way up here for me right now, and it will stay, especially when I engage the metal strips in the ear tabs, which are so important. Really, really, really press those in. It's not going to slip back on me, largely because it's not in my muscle range at all. My buzzed hair is acting as my wig grip, but if you have a wig grip on, that's going to keep it from slipping back. But often I think people put the wig onto their muscles and they feel it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, and they're freaking out because that wig just keeps going back. Well, at some point it's going to stop. And so you can actually get quite a ways up there. I call this, you know, granny level, right? This is really high. But in the illusion, it looks proportional. So keep that in mind. There's not a place to put your hairline. It's all about the illusion. Find what works for each wig. Now I want to share with you the wig that kind of made this a big deal to me. That really made me start focusing in on my hairline. And that is my Simmer Elite. So Simmer is a hand-tied cap. And you can see she's full of glue. I used to, when I first started wearing wigs, fully install my wigs. I was terrified of slippage. Terrified. I was pulling it down in the back. I was pulling it down the front. I was cinching it all around me. And one of the reasons is because I have a flat head in the back. And even before I shaved my head, I had no hair. It was just some long strings. And so there was nothing to fill the cap. And I had a big baggy cap. And my instinct or urge was to pull it so that I could feel the cap against the back of my head. And that pulled it forward on my face, down onto these muscles. And then I pulled it down over where the hair grows down on my neck. It was just cinched down. And it was awkward and it was weird. It was always riding up in the back. It was slipping back in the front. This hand-tied wig is probably almost a petite size. It's an average cap, but it fits me snugger than anything else. So what happened when I first put it on, and I was wearing it the first few times, and I'm getting that feeling of oh man, right there, right where the ear tabs need to be. I'm feeling it engaged in the back of my head. It feels so good. The back of the rim of the cap sits right on my skull bone. It doesn't go down my neck at all. It sits exactly where it's supposed to be. One of the things, though, is that I noticed as I was wearing it, this really long forehead look. And at first I thought, oh, I don't know if I like the way this wig looks on me. No, blame the wig, right? As you will find most times, as I've said before in other videos, it's probably not the wig, it's probably you. And so I thought about that to myself, and I thought, you know what? I think it is me. And so I just brought her down a little bit. Oh my gosh. All of a sudden, she looked great. I didn't look like I was receding, and it felt normal and natural. And boy, every time I put this on, I was really careful. Oh, no, not too low, not too far back. Just find the golden zone. And it really made me start being really conscious of all of my wigs and how every single wig has a different placement on my forehead in order to create the illusion I'm going for. Had I, if I'm choosing to lift my hair off, I might bring it down a smidge as I'm creating height. Just a smidge, you know? It's these fractions of an inch make a big difference, not only in how it looks, but how it feels. Because if I bring that down too much, you can see there's minimal lace here. I think you can see that anyway. This is discolored. It's an older wig, so my lace is darker than my skin. And I feel it poking me when I come down. There's minor fraying, microscopic, because I'm careful with my baby, you know, my lace. Oh, I'm so careful. But there's microscopic fraying, and I want to be careful that I don't get it in these wrinkles. There's wrinkle zone. Just feel like I'm being stabbed. And now nothing going on right there. Maybe something right over here. There. So find your zone. If you have trouble with your lace fronts, if you feel tortured, move it off of your face, above the muscles, to the what should we call that zone? The crown of the head, the scalp, the part that's just not your face anymore, right? We've never had to define that for ourselves before. But now that we have, my hairline's way back there, you know? Nature has moved my hairline quite a bit. Well, now I get to consciously move my hairline quite a bit. So I just wanted to share all of that with you today. Whether you want a longer appearance, you want a whiter, more youthful look, if you're dealing with the uncomfortable stabbing of a lace front, if a basic cap looks too low, take control, ladies, take control. Thank you so much. I'm Josie. I'm Aging into Beauty. I wear wigs, and I'm here to help you wear yours. Please, if you've had any value in this, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend.